Finally getting tough on Big Bird.
Binders.
Cutting Sesame Street.
We don't have to collect a bunch of binders.
He didn't need a binder.
Yeah, so much for a vision for the future. That's why the guy's getting his brains beaten in the polls. So let's talk about this. We got Karen Finney, columnist for The Hill, former DNC communications director, Kate Obenshain, author of Divider in Chief, The Fraud of Hope and Change, and Aaron Klein, weekly columnist for WND and author of Fool Me Twice. Kate, let me go to you. Can I just understand what Mitt Romney was governor of Massachusetts, so they put together binders, they go out and recruit the best talented women they can find, put them in the administration. Half of the senior staff or more were women. What exactly is wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's pretty admirable. At one point, Mitt Romney had more women in his cabinet than any governor in the country. So this is obviously just a desperation attempt by the Obama team, just what they did with Big Bird, but now they're shifting to binders to try to take attention. Really, they're trying to scare women yet again because the 15-point lead that Obama had has evaporated, and now Romney is even when it comes to women, and so they've got to try to villainize Mitt Romney and make him seem like the woman hater, which obviously he's not, and then Mitt Romney's out there talking about jobs and the economy, sticking to his message.
And Karen, Karen, my friend, Karen, you know what your real problem is, Karen? Men. Think about that, because Romney is running way ahead of McCain with men. In fact, he's running much more.
White men.
He's right.
With white men.
White men. That is correct. In fact, white voters in general.
Yeah.
He's running massively ahead.
Okay,
so
but
I would worry more about those larger demographics than this narrow notebook business you're throwing out.
Well, Larry, in case you hadn't noticed, we're actually a majority-minority country these days, so there may not be enough white men for Romney to actually win this election.
We're getting women too.
Hold on. Actually, he's the waitress moms and white working class women. This is part of the problem that Romney has. I just came back from Missouri and Kansas, and even conservative women were grousing about his use of the term about binders. Here's the point. It's not about binders and Big Bird.
They were in a binder.
Kate,
you know what binders are?
It's not about binders and Big Bird. What it's about is the idea that Mitt Romney thinks that the American people are stupid enough to accept those phrases as a substitute for real policies. He didn't answer the woman's question.
Said that women don't care.
President Obama is doing the exact same thing.
Let me go to Aaron Klein. Hang on.
Hold on. He didn't answer the woman's question.
Let me bring Aaron Klein in here. First of all, Aaron Klein, I guarantee you most voters of both sexes do not know what binders means. They have no idea about this. And the second point, Aaron, that occurs to me, get your take on this. This is all a big distraction by an Obama campaign that has no future agenda to grow the economy and create jobs. What's your take?
Yeah, it's a distraction, but it's also a multi-pronged assault. It's several tactics going on at once because it's divide and conquer. This comes right out of the radical left Saul Alinsky playbook. We're talking about class warfare of the wealthy, the 99% versus the 1%, and now this ridiculous war on women that is really just beyond absurd. And women voters, I don't think, are buying into this because Obama is trying to distract the public. He does not want the public to be talking about Obamacare. He doesn't want the public to be talking about his first-term stimulus.
What you don't seem to understand is that the more you guys tell women that it's all in their heads, this war on women, the more you actually lose them. No, hold on, because here's the thing. Why is it then that you have women in battleground states overwhelmingly saying that access to contraception and abortion is a top issue for them above the
Nobody's threatening
But hang on one second. Hang on one second. All right, hang on.
Access to contraception. Come on.
Let me get Kate back in here. Kate, what the polling data show is that really Romney doesn't have a gender gap problem. He did a while back, but it has narrowed.
That's the Gallup poll earlier
hang on a second. That's what, I'm reading that great conservative newspaper reporting this called the Washington Post, and they're saying that yes, the guy doesn't have. Well, look, you can show me 100 polls. Right now, your guy's losing in almost every poll. But what I want to get to, Kate Obenshain, what I want to get to is, if you're watching the debate and Mitt Romney sincerely says, we went out to recruit women at the highest levels of my Massachusetts administration, I still, Kate, do not understand what is wrong with that. I don't get that.
Okay,
and that's why I think I asked, I'll let you get here.
The story isn't true.
I want Kate to begin with that.
He actually lied to the American people in the debate on that.
But President Obama's administration is routinely lying to the American people. He's using that as a tactic, accusing the other side of lying.
Kate,
and doing just the same thing.
They recruit men, too. They recruit, let's say, if Mr. Romney becomes president, as I reckon he will, he's going to look for financial experts. He's going to look for foreign policy experts. They're going to have binders of names, and they're going to go out and recruit people. So my question is, what's so wrong with recruiting people, men or women?
There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, he went out there and proactively said, I want as many women as possible.
I want as many.
Yes, it is, Karen. It was corrected today. You all lied about it.
Let me say something about this fake war on women.
Obama,
Karen, I'll give you equal time. Karen,
this is what you do. You talk over us because we have points to make. Barack Obama overplayed his war on women hand. Stephanie Cutter, his deputy campaign manager, said women don't care what's happened over the past 4 years. And then he put on his website an ad that said, vote like your lady parts depend on it. You know what? Conservatives think that women are going to vote like one of their parts depends on it, like their brain tells them to. That's the difference between conservatives and liberals. And Obama has patronized women to the point that they have had it, and that's why women are now even.
Karen Finney, please, you can respond, and then I want to get Aaron in before we have to leave. Go ahead, Karen.
Two things. Number one, the organization that Romney went to when he was governor has actually come out with a statement. It turns out the story is not actually true.
Actually,
under pressure,
it is true.
No, it's not true. Under pressure, both he and the other candidate, the Democrat in the race, signed a pledge from this organization promising that they would do this. So it's not like they proactively came up with the idea.
He went out and honored his obligation.
There's nothing wrong with it, but then let's just tell the truth.
If he didn't do that.
Aaron Klein, I appeal to you. You know, I've been through the selection process years and years ago under Ronald Reagan. They had personnel, it was Pen James in those days. They had notebooks and binders full of names, Aaron, for different positions, for ambassadors, for financial people in the Treasury and the Office of Management and Budget where I wound up. They needed people with different skills on energy and science and physics. Aaron, what is wrong with filling out binders and having an affirmative outreach, not by law, but by volunteer? What's wrong with that, Aaron?
Of course there's nothing wrong with that. Instead, what we had is Celinda Lake, who's a progressive strategist and pollster, who has consulted with the Obama administration. She did polling that showed that if Obama purports this war on women, it might just work. This is a progressive strategy through and through, from start to finish.
And
speaking of Reagan, I'm sure you remember the Morning in America ad that Reagan ran. Why isn't Obama doing just that?
I just think that war on women is barking up the wrong tree. People want jobs in the economy. Karen Finney, Kate Obenshain, Aaron Klein, thank you very much. Nice, calm discussion tonight. That's it for this evening's show. Thanks for watching. I fall back on free market capitalism. If your name appears in a binder and you go in for an interview and then freely get a job, take the job. I don't have any problem with it, for heaven's sakes. I'll be back tomorrow night.